All right, prop the mic, PTM. Trying to keep up with the flurry of trade deadline moves today while we're researching and placing bets at the same time. Just feels like a lot of action right now. I absolutely love it. So excited to talk about these games with you. But first, as always, today's podcast is presented by Props.cash. We 100% could not do what we do without Props.cash. So if you think you're ready to level up your prop betting game, use code PTM at sign up to get 25% off your first month. And remember, all of today's podcast picks will be posted in our VIP Discord immediately following the pod. What's up, Dave? Real quick, putting you on the spot. What's your favorite trade so far?
Well, as a Knicks fan, I have to be very pleased with Burks and Bogdanović coming to the Knicks, especially
very nice.
When Woj first broke the news, he just reported Burks. So it was like, all right, that's a nice little backup.
Yeah.
But then Bogdanović that's a legit 15, 20-point scorer right there coming with him. So I think that's really nice.
For nothing.
Yeah, not much. I mean, Grimes, they got rid of Grimes. Grimes is a legit player, but he just didn't fit in the system, and he didn't get along with Tibbs. So I think that's why they moved him out. Who else? Who else was it?
Fournier and Arcidiacono.
Yeah. What other trades were you excited about?
What else was I excited about? Well, the Knicks were the big one. We were just talking about very interesting what's going on in Philly. Not quite sure exactly what their end goal is here.
Yeah,
getting rid of Pat Bev. A lot of question marks if Embiid's actually going to make it back this season. You seem to think he is. I seem to think he's not. So interesting to see what they're doing over there in Philly. But
yeah,
still, I mean, after hours left.
After hearing about Buddy Hield potential trades to the Lakers for the last 3 seasons, it's nice to see him finally move somewhere. Interesting though. I mean, he's a legit shooter, and he's coming off of a team that's very much a playoff contender. So we'll see what happens there. He was just kind of not fitting in that system, I guess.
Yeah, we're just both curious to see where our boy Malcolm Brogdon ends up. That's the big one we're waiting for.
Yeah, I would love to see him land in OKC. That would be nice. And Olynyk, last one. Olynyk going to Toronto. We were chatting with our boy Tim Trad earlier about that. He's legit. Watch his props. I think you can find some value once the Olynyk props come up, because if he starts getting 25 minutes a game or something like that, he could really be good for rebounds and assists. So.
Great playmaking big. He's always one guy. His lines come out later in the day usually, but he always is popping in our model, especially for assists. So, exactly. Someone to look out for.
Yeah, and a lot of shooting weapons there. All right, so we got a big slate today, but honestly, like, today's a weird day because you got to be careful, like, with all these moves. It's not necessarily the players that are moving because they're not going to play tonight, but it's the implication of that player being out of the lineup, which could change a lot of the historicals. With that said, our alt props crushed last night again. So definitely that's a really good angle to attack for tonight. So in our Discord last night, we hit 4 out of our 5 alt builders. And we already have our builder of the day up, and we're going to put up more builders. So I think that's a really good way to lean for tonight with all the uncertainty. You buffer yourself a little bit on some of these plays where the lines are a little confusing. But we'll give out a couple picks here tonight. And let's see what you like here. So
all right.
So I think we're going to hit 4 games. Let's go into what I would say is probably the best offensive game of the night. We got the Warriors at the Pacers. Pacers are -6.5 at home. Total in this one is 249.5 points. So there's got to be some people scoring in this game.
I would think, yeah.
What was your favorite pick in this game? Let's just jump right to it.
Let's jump right to it in this game. All right, so you have a nice matchup here for forwards against the Pacers here. So I like Kuminga and Wiggins here. 2 separate plays. Kuminga over 20.5 points. It's -140 on DK, but he's done this in 8 of his last 11 games, averaging 24.3 points per game. Indiana has been the second best team to target from short mid range over the last month. And that's where Kuminga's game is. He takes 30% of his shots from short mid-range. That's in the 94th percentile among forwards. So it's the weakness of Indy's defense is the strength of Kuminga's offensive game. So we're going to pair those two together and hope for some magic here tonight. You have some decent comps for other players who also are like in the top 50th percentile in short mid-range scoring. Miles Bridges just had 19. Harrison Barnes, 22. Jeremy Grant, 37. Keegan Murray, 27. Lauri Markkanen, 32. So decent comps there for Kuminga. And the same can be said. Everything I just said about Kuminga can also be said for Andrew Wiggins. Their shot profiles are like almost identical. His line is 11.5 points, minus 120 on FanDuel. And he's also cleared this in 7 of his last 10 games, averaging 14.6. So we're seeing a little Andrew Wiggins, little renaissance here, maybe. So I feel like maybe these two are a little bit of a hedge. I feel like one definitely gets there, but I think they're both in good spots tonight, especially with the 250-point total that they could both get there. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I really like what I see on Wiggins. I didn't realize he had such a recent surge.
Yes.
I don't know. I think there's a good chance in the next hour Wiggins could move too. So so if you are thinking about this, maybe bet them both. And quite honestly, if Wiggins moves, then Kuminga's line will probably move up even more. So yeah. I like these plays. I think they're good spots in a very high scoring game. So I like that. What about Steph tonight? I know point guards against the Pacers is also a pretty good matchup. I think they're giving up the 3rd most points in the league. His line is very high at 28.5. You think Steph's got a good prop here tonight, or what do you think?
To be honest, I didn't look at him too much. Let's see here. The one place that you don't like, that's always the one place I look to avoid against Indiana is like their 3-point defense is pretty good. Just over the last month, I mean, they have like the 3rd best 3-point defense. If you look at I look at a combination of 3-point attempts allowed and then 3-point, like your shooting percentage. I look at a combination of those two, and they're 3rd to last on the list. So it's a terrible matchup for 3-point shooters. So I don't know. I stayed away. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would love to pull some data to understand in a 250-point game how many times Steph has scored under 29 points, because
that's a good point.
Right. But I mean, what was appealing to me is, Fox had 25, or maybe that's not a great one since his line was 29.5, but Brunson scored 40. Jamal Murray scored 31 on a line of 21.5. So there were a couple like all-star point guards that have done pretty well. And he's definitely putting up some big games of late. So I think it's a decent spot. I might buy this one down to like 25 points and put it with something else. I think that might be the smarter play tonight.
Yeah, I like that. It is a good point. I would like to see those numbers too. There's just so many points to be scored in this game. I mean,
I mean, he scores, most of his scoring is from, not most of his scoring, but he is a 3-point guy, right? Like that's the games where he goes off, he's bombing threes, but he does have a good ability to get to the hoop too. So, all right. Anybody else on the Warriors side?
I will say this is his, the last time he played on a back-to-back was 5 days ago against Atlanta when he had 60 points, and he's on a back-to-back again today. So maybe he can catch lightning in a bottle twice there.
I think our guy Proptology also pointed out on the Discord that tonight is Klay Thompson's birthday. So it looks like Klay is turning, what is that, 34 tonight? So it's not. Most people, you would say that would be a motivating factor, but with Klay, he seems to be degrading with age. So I'm not sure that is a good thing. But
Don't we all?
It is Klay's birthday, except LeBron. LeBron gets better with age. All right, let's. Anything on the Pacers side in this one?
I just got one real quick. So we've been targeting 3-point shooting against the Kings, right? It's like they've been allowing the most 3-point attempts, like the highest 3-point shooting percentage. But right behind them on that list over the last month is Golden State. So I wanted to target somebody in this game who's been shooting really well from three. So it's Aaron Naismith, over 14.5 points, minus 110 on FanDuel. He's gone over in 6 of his last 8 overall, averaging just under 17 points a game. He takes half of his shots come from three. He takes about, I think it's even split. He's like 24% from corner threes and 26% non-corner threes. He's shooting 47% from 3-point range. That's 96th percentile among forwards. And if you scroll down there and click on the recent power forwards, 3-point, look at three. I know this plays on points, but I want you to see it with threes. So click on that prop to threes and power forwards. You see a lot of green checks there. So you could see it's a nice spot for him against Golden State here.
Yeah.
You could probably play the threes too. I just like a lot of times we, like that little bit of cushion and so I'm playing the points 14.5 minus 110.
I like that. He owes us because we played him the other night for PR and he put up a pretty bad game, put up 10 points with Houston. So I feel like he owes us. So let's go back to Nesmith. Bigs versus the Warriors is also a pretty good matchup. I was debating, do you really have two players, with props that are kind of classified as bigs? Obviously, Miles Turner is a traditional big, although it's hard to call him that because he does spend half his game outside on the perimeter. And then Siakam is also classified by Cleaning the Glass as big. At least he was on Toronto. I believe he probably would still fall in that same category on Indy. Biggs is scoring the fifth most points against Golden State in the NBA. So I was just I wanted your opinion if we were to go with Big scoring against the Warriors. Miles Turner at 17.5 or Siakam at 21.5. What do you like better?
I almost went with the play on Turner here. It was I ended up picking Naismith, but I looked hard at Turner, so I would go Turner. I was looking at his threes. I like his points too. That would be my lean. But Siakam's been been balling though, right?
Yeah, what I don't love about Turner is his like playing time. Right, he's got games where he puts up 18 minutes. And then when he does play, he's playing 26 minutes, so you compare that to Siakam. Siakam's like, boom, consistently 35 minutes. So I do think Turner's a decent play, but I'm going with Siakam 21.5 points in this game, minus 115 on FanDuel.
I'll tell you who the sneaky guy is in this game if he does play is Jalen Smith. He was bombing away from three. It's a great matchup for him. If you see some lines on him later, I would look at some threes or a scoring line on Jalen Smith.
All right, let's keep going. We got the Spurs at the Magic. Magic are minus 10.5 at home. Total is 224.5. Let's run through this game quickly. What's your favorite play in this one?
I love Wendell Carter over 12.5 points, minus 115 on FanDuel. Great splits when he plays with Markelle Fultz. He's cleared this line in 8 of his last 10 games. He's played with Fultz. Fultz is back. He's averaging 16 points in those games. Look at that beautiful chart there. They just played on January 31st. He had Fultz in the lineup. He had 14 points. You can see that game right there. And then if you scroll down, look at what centers have done scoring against the Spurs. You'll also see a lot of green checks there. This is a great matchup for him. Love this play.
This was the first play of the day that I saw, and quite honestly, I kind of wish I locked it in earlier. I was waiting until you were up and about to chat with you about this one, but because I know you're the Wendell Carter whisperer. But yeah, he opened up at 11.5. This has gone up to 12.5. You could still get it for minus 120 at 12.5, and it looks like it's moving up to 13.5. So if you want to grab it soon because it looks like it's on the move. But this is my play of the game too.
Nice. So I have a way if you want to, if it's starting to get a little heavy for you there, and you wanted my other play, which we cashed on the other night, was Fultz assists. over 3.5 assists, but that one's pricey at -150 on FanDuel. He's cleared this in 5 of his last 7. He had 4 in that game against the Spurs. When he's played with Wendell and Franz, he's cleared in 7 of his last 10 games this season. So I like that play. So if you wanted to bring Wendell down to 10 points and put it with 4 Fultz assists, you can get +116 on FanDuel. So that's another way, a little less GP there. If you don't like Wendell getting up to 13.5.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I would probably do Wendell 12 and Fultz 4, and you get a plus money play out of that. I think that's probably safe enough in this game. So I love that. Anything on the Spurs side?
Going with my boy Jeremy Sohan, rebounds. The guy is just an elite rebounder. Look at his last 3 games against the Magic.
Wow.
12, 11, 9. He's cleared this in 10 of his last 15 games. He's averaging 8 rebounds per game over his last 15 games. You could get, so his line's 5.5 -135. I think it's a nice ladder spot. You can get 8+ rebounds at +200, 10+ rebounds at +500. I think worth a little sprinkle here when he goes off. You see, he either gets 4 or 5 or he gets like 10. I think this is a great spot for him. And he just did it.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'm curious if part of his ability to rebound is like the presence of Wemby, just probably drawing like 2 guys. But he's a big he's classified as a power forward, but he's really more of like a what do you have him classified?
Cleaning the Glass has him as a combo guard.
Combo
this
guard,
season.
right.
He was a forward last season. But yeah, he's they moved him around. He was the starting point guard at the beginning of the season for the Spurs.
And we got him. I'll give a little tease. We got him with 2 assists as one of the legs in our alt builder of the day. So that's one of the 4 legs for that one. So we're liking his assist as well with his rebounds.
He is in, I'm on Cleaning the Glass right now. He's in the 99th percentile in both offensive rebounding and defensive rebounding at his position. Pretty amazing.
Pretty amazing. All right, Let's move on. We got the Jazz at the Suns. Suns are -6.5 at home. Total is nice in this one as well, 243.5. What do you like in this one?
It's hard to ignore KD in this spot. You look at what he's done against Utah this season. 39, 38, and then 26. Another, good output. I have him at 27.5 points here. It was -105 on DK earlier. I don't know if it's creeping up now.
-110.
-110. Okay. Nice home road splits. He covers this 62% at home, 52% on the road, averaging 29 points at home, 27.5 on the road. So he's a hair better at home. And nice matchups, whether you classify him as a big, which on Cleaning the Glass he is because he plays the power forward primarily. They've allowed the 3rd most points per minute to opposing bigs. If you want to put him as a forward, 10th most points per minute to opposing forwards versus Utah. So this is nice. You see those couple red ones where it's 26, 27. I think if you wanted to put a nice leg for KD is right. A 25 plus for KD is a beautiful leg to a builder. Would you agree?
I would. I mean, it looks like you can go up to 26.5 or even 25.5 or 26.5 because he seems to nail 27 a lot. So
yeah.
But he did have 26 in that first game against the Jazz. So maybe 25.5 if you want to bump it up once those alt props come out on FanDuel. I think that could be okay. And then what would you put that with?
So not sure what's going on with Booker here. He's not listed on the injury report, but he's not showing up in all the books. But I love his assist here in those 2 games against Utah when Durant had 38 and 39 points. Booker had 8 and 15 assists in those 2 games. He's also been awesome at home. His line's 5.5 assists, -135. At home, 7 of 21 games this season, he's cleared this. And that's at 6.5. You're showing there, but it should be
Yeah, it's up to 6.5.
It's gone up. Yeah. Okay. Don't love it as much there. I mean, this might be nice if you want to do Booker 5 assists and KD 25, 26 points. That could be nice.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with that one.
Yeah.
That one little red bar, which is the last home game, is staring us in the face here and causing some doubt. But the other 20 green bars to the left are pretty convincing. So we'll take that one.
Nice.
All right, cool. Anybody else on the Suns?
On the Suns now.
I'm hesitant, but Grayson Allen, I like every once in a while to throw a Grayson Allen prop out there. I actually think assists is a pretty good play for him. 2.5 assists. Allen is classified as a wing. Is that correct? Do I have that classification right?
Correct. Yes.
And wings are a tremendous matchup against the Jazz. If you look at the prior matchups versus Utah, he had 4 and 3 at home, and then if we go back, I'm sorry, that was back to last season. 3 and 3 in this season, and then 1 the previous one back in November 17th. So, he's done it twice against the Jazz. He definitely is more of a 2-assist guy, but for minus 105, maybe we put a half unit on Allen to get 3 assists tonight in a good matchup.
And interesting. I just thinking about him, the team that drafted him, right? Played one season for the Jazz. So maybe there's a little something there. And what has he done against? There's against Utah right there. What's his scoring against Utah?
I mean, he's kind of played for like a lot of teams, so yeah, he's actually done pretty well scoring.
There you go.
Utah too.
There you go.
So maybe
he seems like the type of guy who would hold on to that grudge for his whole career.
Trip somebody. All right. Anybody on the Utah side?
Just one. Chris Dunn assists, over 4.5 assists. Minus 130 on DK. Phoenix has allowed the 4th most assists per minute to point guards, 8th most assists per minute to combo guards. Chris Dunn's cleared this in 6 of his last 10 overall. You see his minutes have ticked up over the last 2 games. Obviously, Kelly Olynyk is not somebody who they're not playing the same position, but Kelly Olynyk is definitely a playmaker on that team who's no longer there now. So that should open up some more opportunities for Chris Dunn for some playmaking. So I thought this was a nice spot for him here.
Yeah, I definitely saw that matchup popping out. I just wasn't sure if Keontae George was a better play, although I haven't seen George's lines out yet. But if that comes out at like 3.5, which is my guess is where it will come out, would you like that as well?
I would love that. Yeah,
I would love that. All right, so keep an eye for Keontae George. This is the night game, so that might come out closer to game time.
Yeah. Real quick, we got a question on X here asking about John Collins and/or Markkanen rebounds. That's
all
from,
right.
Brandon Wong. Thank you.
Brandon's becoming a regular on the show. Thanks, buddy. All right, Collins is at 7.5 rebounds. I mean, that's kind of been a like almost a guarantee of late. Let's see what he had done against Phoenix. 10, 14, and 12 is pretty good. Centers against Phoenix. I don't have it up in front of me, but is that a good matchup, Tom?
It's league average 15 overall over the last month. Forward's not great though. Third, the third worst matchup. So
yeah, I mean, he is classified as a big. Gafford only put up 7. Capella put up 10. Okonwu is probably a pretty good comp. He put up 7. And Bam put up 11. So you have varied results here. I don't know. The traditional analysis that we do that looks at matchups wouldn't say that this is a good play, but the fact that he's cleared in all 3 games against Phoenix, and the fact that he's getting decent minutes now and is trending in the right direction for his hit rates, I think it's a decent play. What do you think?
It's hard to argue with those 3 from this season. Look at the recent success there. That's pretty good. You want to just toggle over to Markkanen real quick?
Yeah, I'm just looking at Collins' minutes. It seems like when he gets that, hits that 24-minute mark. I mean, that's pretty good. He's got a 68% hit rate at 8 rebounds when he gets to 24 plus minutes. So I think he'll get that tonight. So yeah, I think that's a good one. Let's look at Markkanen. Markkanen is 8.5 rebounds plus money. Let's see if we can get it 7.5 anywhere still. Nope. It looks like it's started out at 9.5, so it's coming down. What do you think about Markkanen here? Similar analysis, right? He's kind of like a power forward that probably get some center minutes, right?
Yeah, basically. I mean, the matchup is better for the bigs, so I'd probably lean Collins, I think, but I don't know. They both seem pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, the absence of Kelly Olynyk, does that benefit Markkanen or Collins more?
Hard to say.
Right? I don't know. If I had to play one or the other, I'd probably go with Collins as well, just given his consistency of late. And he just seems to be in the right spot for rebounding all the time. So good question. Let's go with that one. All right, let's move on. We got the Nuggets at the Lakers to finish it off. Lakers are getting 3.5 at home. Total is 230.5. These two teams did play earlier this season with the Nuggets back in October. Nuggets winning 119-107 in Denver. This one's in LA. I just have to start by saying the number one player that was popping off on the board for me was KCP. But I didn't see props for him. He did put up 20 points against the Lakers last time they played, and Wings are scoring top 30 scoring matchup against the Lakers. Yeah. So let's see, is he available now? Did you see him?
I don't think I've seen him.
No, he's still not popping up, but is that a decent play in your mind if we see some KCP props from
I know that wing matchup. Who was it? Brandon Miller was it the other day against the Lakers that just crushed, and so somebody else. We played that matchup a couple times, I feel like, over the last week or so. Seems like a very solid play going up against team he won the championship with in the bubble. So
all right. So that was my best play, and I think that'll become available if he plays in this game. I think that'll be available once we get closer to game time. Who do you like in this one?
I just see he's questionable.
Yeah, he's questionable,
but hamstring. Yeah. Okay. I like Michael Porter Jr. here. We were crushing Porter Jr. Assists in that playoff series against the Lakers last season. And he's had success even in the regular season. He's cleared 5.5 assists in 3 straight regular season games against the Lakers, 7 straight, including that playoff series.
Assists or rebounds?
Rebounds.
Yeah.
Did I say assists?
I think so, but that's fine. Yeah. Wow. Look at that. That chart certainly looks pretty eye-popping there.
7 straight. Yep. He's also on 3 days rest today. Look at him on 3 days rest this season. He's had 12 and 10 rebounds this season, I believe, on extra rest. There was another 10 and 9. There's a 12 in there if you go back to last season. And then look at power forward rebounding against the Lakers. If you scroll down, you'll see a lot of green checks there.
Yeah.
Bay, look at Jalen Johnson, 11, Draymond, 14, Jabari Smith, 9. Like, great comps. This is a nice one. Let's do it.
Yeah, I think between Saddiq Bey and Jalen Johnson, he's kind of like, I don't know, he's more of a Jalen Johnson player.
Jalen Johnson, yeah.
I mean, Jalen Johnson's a better rebounder overall, but I mean, Jalen Johnson put up 11 and Saddiq Bey 8 in the same game. So I think that's great. I love that.
Yeah.
All right.
I got one more.
What else?
LeBron assists, 7.5 assists, -102 on FanDuel. They're on 2 days rest today. He's cleared this in 5 of his last 6 games on 2 days rest, averaging 10.5 assists. His line's only 7.5. He's cleared this in 4 of his last 6 overall, 6 of his last 8 against Denver. There's your 2 days rest there, 5 of his last 6. Decent comps. Tatum cleared his line with 5. Julius Randle had 8 recently. Kyle Kuzma had 7. This just seems like a spot for LeBron to have 8 assists. What do you think?
Yeah, seems good, especially at home. If you look, let's just take the 2 days rest and, 8.3 at home and 7 on the road. So he definitely is more of a facilitator at home. And I think this is like, this is a nationally televised game against the Nuggets, right? He's gonna play big minutes and he's gonna be dishing the ball. So I like that play a lot.
Nice. All right. I think that does it, right?
Yep, 30 minutes for the trade deadline. So hopefully we get some more Woj bombs. But this was fun. Thanks for putting out some great picks today.
Nice. Yeah. And remember, everyone, just stay on top of things when you're placing your bets today. You don't want to get mixed up with something because somebody got traded or whatnot. So keep your eyes on the news wire. And thank you, everyone, for joining. Appreciate the questions. Enjoy the slate, enjoy the trade deadline, and let's all make some money.